Hello, it's me again. So on the second video of the series, I'm gonna start by basically stripping the boat out of all of its fixings so that we can focus on the work ahead, and also so I can have measurements for any replacement parts I need to order, such as say the bow ball or the hatch covers. So we'll start with that, and then in an hour or so I'm going to be joined by one of my lovely friends from my rowing club, who's very knowledgeable, and he will hopefully teach me how to tackle the hull repairs, at least the prep work for the hull repairs, namely the sanding down that I will have to do. Firstly, I guess I need to get the boat off the floor. I've been keeping it on the floor mostly so that if there is wind, I mean, I live actually on a coastal town, so the winds sometimes can be pretty strong around here, so that the wind doesn't really get the boat off its racks and sends it plummeting it into the ground. So the first job will be to get the boat onto those little trestles I've got over there, so I can actually start getting things off. Okay, so I'm starting with this bow ball, which, I mean, it isn't the worst bow ball I've ever seen, but clearly it's been made to fit this boat, because the actual bow of the boat has pierced it, so it actually doesn't really do its job as a bow ball anymore, because this is allowed to actually protrude beyond the bow ball. I mean, the bow ball is meant to cushion. Yeah, if on impact, if this swings down, that could hit somebody and cause a bit of injury. So clearly that's not good, and it needs a new one. That's the end of it. I mean, we shouldn't quibble for a couple of quid. I mean, a bow ball is essential safety equipment, so that's relatively simple to remove. It's just a couple of bolts, so that should be nice and easy. Then I'm probably going to get the bungs off, because I've noticed that the matching pair of this boat, so there was another boat we purchased for the club, it's lacking the actual bung for one of the chambers, so I can probably transfer this one and get the other boat recommissioned more quickly, because the other boat actually doesn't need much work done to it. It just needs a good clean and it's usable straight away. This one I basically bought the worst of the two for myself. So then today obviously we're going to be tackling all of these. I'm just waiting for my dear friend to arrive and we can crack on, but meanwhile let's get on with it. I'm probably going to be tying down the boat to these trestles, because it is quite windy today. The wind's been picking up steadily throughout the day, so definitely the last thing I want is the boat coming off its racks and smashing on the floor and making more repairs for us. So better to be safe than sorry, so let's get this strapped up. So boat's been properly strapped, so I'm not leaving anything to chance. Nice little big bungees, put a bit of padding underneath so it doesn't harm the boat, so that's not going anywhere unless there's a massive tornado. So as I was saying earlier, these bow ball will need to go. I mean, it's completely destroyed, so let me just grab some tools and let's get cracking. Yeah, that looks absolutely horrendous. I mean, it's obviously splitting, it's split down here, so yeah, bin for you. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. The bow end, it's clear there's been some repair here done at some point. There's a bit of clear silicone which I might be able to strip, but yeah, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I would like to, if I can find some supplier, to get some Aylings stickers produced and refit, because, you know, I mean, I still want to have the boat as close to the original, to when it left the factory, as possible, if I could, and at least to have a nice little Aylings logo. I had a bit of a Google, but I cannot find any of the original, because obviously Aylings has been out of business for a long time, and I haven't been able to find any good high-resolution logos. So if anyone has something that they can find me and send it to me, please drop me a message on the comments, and I would be very, very thankful. So after a little bit of a fight, the runners are now fully off. I had a bit of help and plenty of WD-40, but yeah, it looks very, very dirty in here, but we'll give it a good clean later. The same goes for the runners. Correction, we believe that this repair here was actually done with polyester tape, the polyester resin rather than epoxy. According to my dear rowing friend that is helping me out, this was actually being done by a lot of amateur repairers back in the day. So, but the one in the bow, as I said, it doesn't look too bad, but the one in the stern, we're just gonna remove it, re-strengthen it, and then apply some lovely canvas tape on top, and we should be done. But yeah, it's quite stress releasing to be pulling this off, so it's like popping bubble wrap, so that should be quite nice. Right, so the plan for today is, other than removing the bits which I have already done, will be to start sanding these in preparation for the repairs that need to be happening down here. So we've pulled all of this glass tape that was obviously secured with the polyester resin, so that's all gone. I mean, this side is all gone. That side I'm still going to need a little bit of chiseling to get the rest of it off. It seems to be mostly bonded, but obviously we will be reapplying tape and resin to make sure it's nice and strong. But now that what we're going to be doing is sanding all of this down so we can eventually carry out a repair on these cracked bits where the water was seeping from. So there's obviously this crack over here, and I think there is also a little bit here on the stern, on the very end of the stern, that could do with a bit of reinforcement. been busy sanding around the area that had the crack. So the idea is important to go back down to the absolute bare material, so this blacker material that we're seeing here underneath the paint, because otherwise the repair will not bond properly to it. So that's one of them, and then I will be tackling this bit here with my own tools. So we're just using these little sanders with a coarser, this is 80 P80, so it's P80, it's quite a coarse sanding paper, just to do the initial sanding down. So here it is after a bit of sanding down. This looks suspiciously like carbon fiber and not Kevlar as we originally thought it was. So obviously up here you can see the remnants of the past repair that was done, and so this looks like polyester resin. So that obviously we've been sanding it down so we can then apply the patch on top and get it all sealed up. So after this one is done, we'll go around the back, this over here also. So we're gonna try and strip all of this down to the bare material, and I suspect that this will also require a little bit of attention, because there's a little bit of a crack around the fin box that could, I mean, it doesn't really, when you push down, doesn't really feel like it's going anywhere, but nevertheless I don't think that this is watertight anymore. So we might have a look at that one as well, but this is very interesting. So this is not Kevlar, this is actually carbon fiber. Yeah. Yes, very good. So I have a carbon fiber boat and I didn't even know about. Interesting. So things are a bit different now. We managed to get the fin off because there were a number of cracks around here that were giving me a little bit of cause of concern. So we thought maybe it's best to just get the whole thing off and clean this all up and just start afresh. Obviously, two of the bolts were completely seized on, so we had to actually snap them. But yeah, after that the fin came out very easily. So down here now we can see where the gap is. So the idea will be that we'll have a bit of material going around, and then extra strengthening it on this side. We'll then epoxy it into place and put some card filler on top to create the volume. And then after that's all settled, we can then sand it into place, paint it, and job's a good one. Down here, we believe that the actual gap, I mean, there is a little bit here, but it's predominantly from down here. You can definitely see the material is coming off, so that's going to be all removed and then relayed and sanded and painted. And then obviously over here there is also a little hairline crack that was concerning me because I could see something through it, so that's going to be repaired. Yeah, so we've been exposing all the bits that are wrong, and clearly these are all on the stern. The bow looks absolutely fine. Right, so that was a productive afternoon. We've sanded the areas of the boat that need the repairs all the way till the carbon, so it's all protected, so we can tackle this whenever we have another spare moment. What we've decided is that actually, at least for this particular area, we will be tackling this from inside. So this is what my dear friend, who is very experienced at this and knows far more than I do, suggested that we should do, which is to open a little hole on the canvas, so down here, and so that we can actually attack the repair from inside, because in this way we don't have to actually pile material on the outside and sand it completely, and the repair will be better made. And he assured me that we can effectively cut a very small hole with it's almost like laparoscopic surgery, but we can cut a hole very precisely and then basically bond it back and clean it up, and no one will even know that the hole exists. Apparently he told me that he did a similar thing in a boat we've got in the club, and I had not even noticed. I genuinely thought that it had been repaired from the outside, but he assured me it wasn't. So so as you can see, the fin's gone. We sanded the remaining bolts all the way down to the bottom, so presumably we will be cutting around the fin box to get these repaired. So we can actually check exactly how it looks inside, and probably using self-tapping screws just bolt the fin to a different location, or think about a different arrangement. We were discussing about maybe creating a little slot and fitting the fin the same way as most boats are, which effectively locks in place by putting the fin into a channel and then screwing it only on one end. Because this arrangement obviously requires the 4 bolts. I don't know, we will see. We will see how the fin box looks on the inside. Yeah, so that will all be repaired from the inside. Over here we probably don't need to open a hole, because actually the bulk of the problem is up here, is on the canvas, where the canvas meets the stern. And then we will clean this all up, spray paint it, and it should be really good. This one is actually not so bad of a repair. There's no actual cracking, so we can just put a little bit of filler and paint it over and sand it, and that should be just fine. And probably we will be doing something about the bow here. So again, no need to open above, but we will be sanding this down, putting the material, sanding it, and then painting over. So that'll look good. So yeah, we definitely advanced here. There was a whole lot to do, but we managed, and there will be more on the next episode. I'm gonna be getting on the computer and doing a fair amount of ordering, because we definitely need some bits and bobs. I need some bungs, I need the hatch covers, I need a new bow ball, and I will also need to look into this seat, because it is a little bit broken. And like I said, I don't like a completely flat seat with no holes, because then my seat bones have nowhere to go. So that will be dealt with as well. But yeah, overall, fairly successful afternoon. So thank you all for watching, and please like, subscribe, whatever you want, and just keep, if you're interested, just keep following me for more waffle and boats and rusty bolts and things. Ta-ra!